right? Because I want to read these little parts at the bottom and see if we can get clear what's going on with Mayim Nukvin. Just to mention, the thing is he says that I think he said that in Kasser, both Mayim Nukvin and Mayim Duchrin are there. Now, the Mayim, if this is in Kasser, then you have to come out and you have to bring it over. The Mayim Nukvin is in the Nukva. So it has to come down, like to say, through the Chaz of Zer Anpin into the Rosh of the Nukva, and then it winds up in the Yesod of the Nukva. And that's the vibration that's going upwards. But somehow it has to, I'm trying to understand, it has to go down in order for it to get to a place where it could go up. So this is like something hidden. That's just my thinking. That's what my thinking. So let's read over here in the Zohar Chai again. He says, Rebbe Zohar Chai. He says, what does Zohar Chai say? He says, Bir kan lefidarko. He said that I read kan betikun yisod the nukva. So we're back in the yisod of the nukva. And when is that tikkun taking place? He says on Be'erev Yom Kippur Ma'ansha. So we're going back and forth exactly what this phrase, and the phrase is that we're dealing with B'rechushach da'ara. So what does it mean, the rechusha, some kind of a movement that we're talking about in the land? It's a spreading, or maybe, I'm not sure, we're crawling and creeping. I don't know how to use those words exactly. Let's go on. So we'll talk about that. What is that exactly? What is this mind, the tikkun for this? So that was what we're getting at. Okay, we're at the concept is lo shlim. At the period, we're going through all different kinds of things of what rechisha da'ara could possibly mean. So here we're saying over like this, it's the or choser. The or choser is a concept of not being complete. So right there, I'm thinking that this is really the concept of the nukva altogether. The nukva always feels like it should not complete. So there in her Yesod, that's where we see this movement going along, which is called Rechishu Da'ara, Besod Tikkun Mayim Nukvin, which is the Tikkun, which I'm going to say Tikkun means here the delivery by Midah of Mayim Nukvin. So then it says or choser, then it's or choser. It's a okay, it says in Shartal. So again, is that at the very top, as the birurim are coming up, this birur takes place in Chochmah. We've seen that before. A lot more would like to be known about that. But at any rate, it comes out and it says his words are, and then what happens? And it spreads it down like the cedar in Lebanon, b'yisoda into her yesod, b'yisoda. So she does the same thing in her, which I'm thinking her chochmah, Mayim Nukvin. So this is already there. It's a separate force. But nimshachim al Yesoda, and it goes to her Yesod. So this Yesoda that he had in the previous line, it should be I don't know. Is it normal to say that use the feminine ending for that instead of the Yesodo? That's why I translated went to her. So I don't know. These actually represent the two Yudim that you find in the letter Aleph, which he's going to talk about later. He's going to say also it's found in the word Yehi. Somebody said these two Yudin we're talking about. Yudi Law, Yudita. The Hem Mayim El Yonim, and once again, it's a concept Mayim El Yonim, Umayim Tachtonim. Now let's look at number Hey. Let me get down low and see if we can find number Hey down here. Mem Hey. There it is. So he says, Rebbe Eitz Chaim, look over there, Bezel Shona Bedelog. Inyan Mayim Nukvin Ma Inyon, and what exactly it's talking about. V'hinecha b'noide ki kamosha ha'ish noisim Mayim Dechuram, the Ishto, v'nimshachim min ha'moach shalo, and it all comes out of his moach, Kain gam min ha'isha, min moach shalo, she also has a moach. Yordin Mayim Nukvin berechem shalo, and this Mayim Nukvin goes into her womb, it's sitting there. I'm thinking it's like a voice. It's like an echo or a vibration that's naturally wants to go upwards. It's the energy of upward movement, something like that. So, ve'eluchem sod beis yudin sheyesh ba'os aleph. So going through this, one up above, one down below. Is yud ki yud ilo hu muach zohar, v'yud tato is the muach of the nok. Then he says v'ulai as v'os vav bein time. Then there's a vav that's in between the two of them. Hu chad prisach of the isparis. So the parsa we've seen it before. It's just some kind of a division between them two. I'd like to know more about that, what he wants to say there. V'yud ilo is called ma'im duchrim. V'yordim, and its nature is that it goes down all the way to the prisa, this dividing line, which is the level vav. Now that's interesting because the vav is like zeranpin or like that. It goes to this place. Where does the vav begin? So he said v'yud tato hu ma'im nukvin. V'olam the gabi haku prisa, and they're coming from the bottom, going up towards it. So he said the prisa is like a firmament or something. I'm not sure exactly what he wants to say about it because everything lands there. So if that's also true of the letter vav, which is in between the two hays. So up above you have the yud represent the male force going through and reaching the firmament, which would be the letter vav, and then you have the female force going the opposite direction. Coming up to the bottom of the letter vav. Let's read after number memhe from up above again. So he says yud barosh. So we're reading here yud barosh, yud barosh, yud besof. This is the secret of mayim dechurin and mayim nokvin. Or yashar, also the same idea. Straight light, v'or choser, and returning light, or riyah. Besod Havaya, and then this other way of spelling Havaya. And if you give me, I forgot to look this up. I want to look at Cronenberg's drawing here somewhere. It's not far from where I have a mark. Let me see. Back. Here it is. Let me see what Libra looks like. Libra would be. Let me see. This is a Libra. This is Virgo. Libra is Vav K Yud K. Let me see, is that right? Yeah. Okay, so Vav K K Yud, the different combinations of the permutations of the name of Yud K Vav K. At any rate, it doesn't really match with the drush that I threw onto it yesterday. So I'm going to go on. I'm not sure where I'm at here anymore. Besod Havaya, and then the other one, which I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's Havaya backwards. So the place, this could possibly a postulate. You can make this statement. He says the concept of or is always the concept of the yud, which in other places he says is a dot. It's also the concept. So that means light. The Sod Adni, who this other name, the Havaya backwards. Keser b'malchus and malchus b'keser, which is the concept of this. A little bit difficult. Keser actually winds up in malchus, and malchus winds up in keser. So how is this? Is that you have the two yudin. This could be similar to what we said before. He has this prisa in between the yud at the top and the yud at the bottom. And he says, I'm just not sure exactly how to put it onto this. Let's read on. So he said, keser b'malchus and malchus b'keser. Or choser. He says the kof shal keser kolo shnei yudin. He says the keser kof shal keser has two yudin in it. I'm not sure what it means. Or yasher or choser. So is that the kof shal keser kolo shnei yudin? So the very beginning of keser has two yudin in it. So that's where I got that, when I started talking, that's where I got that idea, is that they're both there. They're both two different kinds of opposite energies. Or Yashiv or Choser shall sod Kof Kafufa. It's a concept of a bent over Kof. I just don't see it in the letter Kof itself. The letter Kof could say like it's a half circle, and I don't know, two lines. I don't see this exactly in the letter, but that's what he says the first letter. V'or Yasher Ku Havaya. So he says, and this also very difficult. He said that the actual light itself is in the form of letters in the name Yud-Kei Vav-Kei. That's the Or Yasher. Etzem Or Hatzilus, which is the essence of the light, is Shlim Considered Besitroi. It's all completely and totally full. It's full of itself. Whatever its energy is, it's complete. For Choser is the other way. It's the name written backwards, Hu Or Cholosh, but it's a weaker light, he says. And he says, V'zechu she'amar kan, this is what it says like this. Rechishusu do da'ira, so he says that this crawling that's going on in this land, that phrase that's coming, that we're working on, L'mayim nukvin lo shlim, so Rechusha da'ira, when you're talking about that, that's the mayim nukvin, which is vibrating, let's say, by itself, but feels empty, feels its emptiness, my explanation, and therefore it's not complete. Because it's an upside down havaya. There's a word hafucha. So he says mora al chalishos, which is really when things are upside down, is to tell you that they're difficult, they're weak. Etzem, or it's not the etzem of the light. It's a desire for the light. Or hashemish maka mischafech, but it's really like the light strikes it. This is like Rabbi Nachman when he talks about the moon. He says, it hits it, it turns it around, and as a result of that, it's in the wrong form. I guess that's what he's saying. Let's look down at the bottom, and there's a Mem Vav here. See if I can understand it. Mem Vav says, Inyan Zechah Mevur Be'etz Chaim, V'sel L'shana B'diluk, so this is the same concept that we said before. He says you plant or the sofam in the beginning and the end. So what is that? He says that if there's if there's an order that goes straight, there's an order that doesn't go straight. It does the opposite of it. So Havaya, and then this other name, the and Havaya backwards. So Trin Yudim, it's a secret once again, Shaba'os Aleph, it could be seen as that. Umakar ha'os la'olam is he says, Umakar ha'or, the real root of the light itself is the letter Yud. The Keser who say their kutz kutz Yud Rishon. So it's the tip, a Keser is the very tip of the first Yud in the name Yud Kei Vav Kei. Va'achron sod adni, but at the same time, that same light, or that same concept of energy. So he says, so I'm going to change the word or and make a definition just for my purposes of energy. So the ultimate energy, the pure energy, is contained in both of them. One is at the very beginning. So that's a concept of a waterfall. The other one is at the end when everything got there and there's a desire for light. That's where I'm saying it. Who sewed this name Hey Vav K Yud like that, Mamish. So maybe that was in Yaakov Cronenberg, but I got to really look a lot closer to be able to see it. Mamish. So he said Besod Keser Malchus. So he said this is the concept of Keser and Malchus. This is Havaya straight out, and then Adni, which has the Yud at the end. Vesodam Ki Keser. Besod base Yudim is looking at it from the secret point of view of these two Yudim, which are two different energy forms, two different lights that are within it. Base Pamim Yud Spheros Melamala Lamata Ulamata Lamala. So you have already within, I guess, in Keser is all of the rest of the Spheros. So you have one set of Spheros which is going down from the top, and the other one that's going up from the bottom. Hefresh bein or Yasher, who etzem or Hatzilus, which is itself the energy, the pure energy light of Hatzilus. Kadinyan or Hashemesh umaka be'ashashis. It's like I look at Ashashis said it was as an oil lamp. So it's like the eye of the light of the sun that strikes an existing lamp. What does that mean? I'm not sure with a metaphor. Or ha-choizer ain't a doimelezeh, but the or chazot is not like this. So in other words, it's the energy of the sun condensed down. That's what we could say into a lamp. It's the same idea. It's illuminating. But the or chachozer is not like that. Rak or cholosh yoser. It's a really weaker light. It's a light of, I say, it's a light of pleading. Kamo or hashemesh hamakam as chafek alav. It's like a light of the shemesh that strikes it. As a result of striking it, it turns it around. It strikes. In other words, it takes a yud ke vav ke and it makes the opposite of that. Adkan and Sham. What to think about over there. Okay, let's go over and see what we can make out of the Chassidus. Let me see how we stop this.